Yeah. So we have a few questions. I'll be again repeating for those of us who are listening and not seeing that chat window. We have a few questions here, a few fears. Not being enough, fear of not being enough, fear of not doing enough, fear of wasting life, fear of financial and job securities, not being good enough, fear of losing mind and sanity and maybe never finding or landing up with the right person, fear of stage, so fear of people, basically fear of attention, so if people are looking at me I must be something, so that I'm not kind of shattered in front of them, fear of someone, some loved one passing away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fear of not being adequate and fear of bad health. Yeah, so maybe some illness can strike and I am now fearing, what will happen if that illness strikes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fear of getting hurt again in love and turning self into stone, so becoming numb. So we are, when we are confronted with very rejecting experiences in life, maybe insult many a times, then we begin to fear that I should not be in a relationship because I may get hurt again. Yeah. Or become numb to emotions. Yeah. Loneliness. Yeah, fear of loneliness, that if you really follow your heart and you do really what you like or love, then maybe you are left lonely and nobody wants to be with you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, great. So thank you so much for sharing your fears, and all fears are valid fears, and they are, non-existent. They are there, and that is why we feel them. uh, is somebody on not on mute? I request everyone to be on mute so that there is no problem with the recording. So today what I'm going to do, take you through, is some of you have been attending the previous sessions, of the links of which I will be sharing in the document today with all of you in the chat window after we are done with the session. Some of you may be new to these sessions. So how these sessions go about, so there are words of Sri Aurobindo and Mother which are full, flowing, like spilling out of consciousness. They are spilling out consciousness. They are full of light. And in my own personal experiences, I have seen the light of those words. I have seen that these words are not theory, these can be lived experiences, and we can also touch that light and rise from anxiety, fear, and panic, and rise into a life which is full of divine light. Yes, it is a possibility. Yes, it is a possibility. No matter how much of darkness I see in the present world today, in behind the darkness there is hiding this light. And what tells me that there hides a light, I'll slowly share with you. One important thing in the present that I want to share with you is, you will not be in this session if not for all the darknesses and fears you have gone through. So be very sure that there is a unseen hand which is guiding you. Be very, very sure of that. Just like when people tell you that, you are not worthy, how easily we believe it. How easily. You don't even take a moment and you buy into that belief that yes, you are right, I am not worthy enough. And if I am today telling you through these words of Sri Aurobindo and Mother, if I today tell you that you are very, very worthy, but for that you have to put effort. You will have to put effort, but you are divine in essence. If I tell you that, I don't know how many of you will believe or buy me for that. But very easily I'll buy into the belief that yes, somebody is saying I am unworthy, I must be unworthy. So this is nothing but a conditioning that I have bought myself into. I have sold myself, my soul, into this conditioning that yes, I am not worthy enough. And amazing, beautiful thing is that I don't feel settled with that feeling. Isn't it beautiful? That I don't believe that I am not worthy. What does it tell me? It pushes me that there must be something else. This cannot be the truth. that I am not worthy. Because if it was the, why do I feel so uneasy about this feeling that I am not worthy? Why do I want to fix this feeling? And this is the very call of the divine from within our hearts, that yes, you all are worthy because you all are children of the divine. And just like the divine itself, which is light and love, you are also light and love, but there is an effort to be done, and that is what we will be sharing today. So stay with us till the end if possible, because I'll be sharing the document also today in the chat group, in the chat window. So I'll be using the words of Sri Aurobindo and Mother and giving my reflections on day-to-day practical life, how to bring those words to life if we are ready for it. So Mother is saying, you must not fear. Now for Mother, it's so easy to say, you must not fear. For us, it is so difficult because our life is lived in fear. In fact, we become uneasy when fear is not there. You know, कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा. अब इतना easy कैसे होगी life? You must not fear. Most of your troubles come from fear. In fact, 90% of illnesses are the result of subconscious fear in the body. Now, this subconscious fear in the body is the fear of ego itself, because ego is a separate entity. Ego strives on separation from the divine. Ego says, see, होगा कोई divine होगा, मुझे नहीं पता. I am something. ये मुझे पता है. Now I want to prove myself that I am something. So the want to prove, the want to kind of really assert oneself comes from the domain of ego. Divine doesn't want to prove himself. Divine is all that there is. So the divine's voice is silently in our heart. You know, there is a very feeble voice. Some of you may have heard it many a times in your silences, or when you were a child. You know, you knew that yes, this is right, this and you followed that path. Voice of the divine. It's very feeble. It does not assert itself. Ego wants to assert itself. So Mother is saying that 90% of the illnesses are result of the subconscious fear of the body. Now ego knows that it is not truth. Ego knows that I am just false images, false identities, which I am trying to solidify, concretize, so that I can feel that yes, I am something. And in that, there is a fear. Because every time somebody wants to break me, like a cancer, for example, like losing a loved one, it's breaking in nature, it shatters you. Now, every something, losing a job, losing money, not feeling good enough comes to me, the ego fears. Ego says that, oh my God, you know, something wrong is happening. And if I am proven wrong, what would happen? The divine doesn't assert again, because divine knows that I can never be broken, and that is your true nature, friends. That is your true nature. That is mine true nature. My true nature is divine, immortal, unbreakable. And that is why, if you have seen people who have gone through really tough challenges in life, you see how sensitive they become, how full of love they become. Because one has to really go through a series of breakings, a series of shatterings, in which all that is false, all that is worthy of being broken, breaks. And what remains is your divine essence. Then only you can begin to live a life in your true self, that is, without any that has a certainty that I am going to live because I am forever. I can never go away. I can just change forms. But that experience does not become our daily experience because we live in the domain of ego. And that is why all the fears are arising from the domain of ego. So if you see at the moment there are fears in my life, tell yourself, I am not surrendered to the divine. I am living from ego. Admit to yourself. Now, how to break this ego, how to go out of fear, we will see slowly. So the anxieties that we experience lack of confidence in the divine's grace. Now see what is happening. I can see I can see buildings, I can see tsunamis, I can see earthquakes. This all I can see. I cannot see divine grace. It's intangible. So if I tell you today that your life is flooding with divine grace, but you're not able to see it, you will say, I am a fool, maybe. It may happen that you say, I don't see it. So for me, divine grace does not exist. Now, this is what most of the mystics and gyanis and saints of the olden times, even contemporary times, warn us. They warn us that don't go by the senses. Senses delude us. It's as if that I am wearing so example that you have a sunset in front of you, right? If you are looking at the sunset through your own eyes, it's a different view. If I am looking sunset with a camera, maybe not a very high resolution camera, it's a different view, the picture it takes. And if I am looking at the sunset from maybe it's a different view. So what is happening? Sunset is the same, but I don't have the eyes to fathom its whole beauty, the in its width. I can only see a particular portion of it. Like if I use binoculars to see the sunset, I can see only a bit of sunset. And that is what our senses are like. Our senses don't tell us the whole story. So completely go by, take them with that, okay, I may be seeing that my life is breaking, but let's see, maybe there is something more my life wants to show me. So that you open your mind with that. Now, ego cannot be that open. So when you are opening your mind that, okay, let's see, it feels that I'm losing my job, I feel a little bit of fear, but let's see, maybe there is something else life wants off from uh, the chair of the ego is kind of falling now. You are taking off the fuel of the ego, and that is how you go towards the divine. The more open you become, the more flexible you become in your workings, the more open you are to receive grace that is omnipresent. That yes, okay, people say that there is grace, let's see that if I am so you are not saying that there is grace, neither are you saying there is no grace. You are open to find, and in that you are moving one step closer to your own divinity. That is what is happening. So further, as mother has said, that any anxiety is the lack of confidence. If I am sure that I am alone and I am abandoned in this world, then I will feel more and more anxious. While on the other hand, if I turn my belief towards the higher truth, which at the moment I am, but which is holding us all, that reduces your anxiety. So mother is saying that any anxiety is a lack of confidence in the divine grace, that I know the best. I know that if I don't get this job, life will suck. I know that if I lose this person, life will suck. I know that if I have cancer, life will suck. How do you know? This is the question. How do you know? Let something new reveal itself to you. And we suffer only when I'm sticking to my old beliefs that yes, life will suck if life does not move according to me and my plan. And then actually my life suck karna shuru kar deti hai. That is what happens. We all of us have experienced that in our life, that if we believe that yes, life sucks, then life begins to suck. While on the other hand, if I have believed that yes, we are all children of the divine and divine is not separate, so even if on the face value a situation appears very bleak, some unfolding of the divine must be happening through this situation, which at the moment I cannot. That kind of an openness. The body must know and be convinced that its essence is divine, and if no obstacle is put in the way of the divine working, nothing can harm us. So mother is saying that So much of surety one must inject in the cells of the body. Now, my friends, just like we put so much of energy in the mechanical routines of the life, one also has to put effort here in now injecting faith into the cells, into my life. That so far I have been working from a life which was egocentric, and I saw that I did not have faith in life's working, universe's workings. Now I want to have a life which is full of faith. How would I behave when I know that the divine is unfolding and something new will be revealed to me? Some new depths of my own will be revealed to me. Some new life is waiting for me to unfold through this ugly situation that has appeared in front of me, which is so fearful. So, in that, you are giving the opportunity for the divine to work, for the divine grace to manifest, and you are not blocking its way. And Mother is saying that this injection of faith in the body, in the cells, must be steadily repeated until all recurrence of fear is stopped. Having been through cancer, my own self, yes, Ananda into cell. You had to actually push, inject Ananda and bliss into the cell, but it's easier said than done. We all of us know that it's easier said than done. So what is to be done? The only thing that is to be done is to become more and more aware that yes, divine presence is with me. Just like for now, my present belief is that yes, I am not good enough, right? This is the belief that I am strongly holding on to. What I have to do is I have to invert the belief. How do you invert the belief? I know that I am divine in essence, and my cells are also divine in essence. And I will slowly put more and more effort to make the cells realize that yes, this is a possibility for me amongst the infinite possibilities that exist in existence. So, first you have the faith, a central faith, and then you begin to kind of spread or spill over this faith into your body. Having recovered from cancer, not being into remission for many years by the God's grace, I can tell you that it is possible to live a life and inject faith into cells. Only grace has this miraculous power. The first point is to believe in grace. Just like I believe in my unworthiness, just like I believe in fear so strongly, just like I believe in this ugly world so strongly, if I want to say ugly world, because for some of us it may appear as an ugly world, right? So just like that, as I buy into my own unworthiness, now I have to buy myself or sell myself into worthiness and my divinity. The process has to be turned around. The machine will be the same. The machine is of your mind and vital, the emotions, the feelings, the passions. You just have to turn it around. Why? Why should I turn it around? Now, here is the free will. No one is forcing you. You are attending this session today. My words may fade away from your ears after 2 days. And that is your free will, that you let the words fade away. Right? So, no one can force us that, yes, I want to live a divine life and I don't want to live a monotonous life. No one is forcing us. Until now, I have been living a life lived of unworthiness, believing in fear, believing in anxiety, believing in panic, believing in a bad world. Just like that, now I am wanting to experience a life where life is lived in divine essence. So, as Kabir has said, मोको कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे, मैं तो हूं विश्वास में. तो हमने जो फियर को रियल बनाया है, कैंसर से मैं भी निकली हूं, फियर से मैं भी गुजरी हूं, रियल कितना बनाया? कैंसर से गुजरते हुए डिड आई फोकस मोर ऑन द मदर? डिड आई कॉन्क्रेटाइज मदर्स प्रेजेंस इन माई लाइफ, or did I concretize fear in my life? Now it is depending on my free will. What do I concretize in my life? Now, when I tell you that, friends, mother is the way, the divine is the way ahead, if we really want resolution in our life, for those of us who are seeking it, then again, it's your free will which now says, okay, I want to experience what kind of a life it is when I concretize mother's presence in my life, when I concretize divine's presence in my cells of the body. And I want to experience whether Monica, whatever words Monica was elaborating upon, whether it really has some weight or is it just bullshit. So experience it for yourself, experiment it with yourself. All these words can be experienced, they can be lived. It is not theory or philosophy, right? So the opportunity that you are giving you is now from the feeling or concretization of unworthiness. Now you're wanting to turn into, yes, I am good enough. No matter whether I succeed today in this venture or not, no matter whether I find a job or not, no matter whether I succeed from cancer or not, I am good enough because I am the child of the divine, just like the billions of beings on this planet. That faith is what is required to turn your life into a miracle. Now, one has to be ready for it. So, when we say, yes, we are ready, only then divine says, okay, now I can show you. When we don't say, when we say to the divine, aaj nahi kal aana, abhi bahut occupied hu, then the divine says, okay, whenever you are ready, I'm not in a hurry. See, divine has eternity. Human evolution has been going since eternity. We were stone first, then became a plant, then animal, then dinosaurs, and now human beings. Divine is not in a hurry. हरी में हम हैं, तभी ह्यूमन बर्थ को इतना प्रेशियस कहा गया है. क्यों है हरी में हम? The only purpose of being human is to live a divine life. That is the hurry. The only purpose of having a human birth is to manifest the divine which is waiting within us. कब ये पर्दा गिरेगा और मैं कब बाहर झांकूं? That is why it is urgent for us, because I don't know how many years or moments I have to live. Yes, life will continue. I will take another birth. But what have I done with this one? Spend all in fear, concretizing fear and anxieties and panic and, all the sufferings? Or spent in concretizing mother's presence, in concretizing divine's presence within, so that life can be turned into bliss, the very same bliss that is the source of existence, that is the seed of existence, Sat Chit Anand. Just moving on further, just if you have any questions, keep on typing and I'll see whenever I can take them. So for illnesses, mother says, as for cancer, the first thing is that you should drive off all the fear. See, again, a lived experience, and I can guarantee that I don't know whether I'll remit into cancer or not. But now I can really say that more and more I am living in mother's presence, more and more I can see that fear is kind of shedding itself away from me. My life is becoming more fuller, more richer every moment, and not lived in a fear of some unknown future where cancer may strike it again. So that kind of a faith that even if cancer may strike, मदर है ना, जब मुझे अपने सेल्फिश एजेंडास के लिए जीना ही नहीं है, जब मुझे जीना ही डिवाइन प्रेजेंस के लिए है, सो दैट आई एम एबल टू मैनिफेस्ट इट, तो मेरा होना या ना होना किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? द डिवाइन्स. So why would I be concerned if I have cancer again? And that is again, you can take it vice versa, that if I have more fear in life, if I am fearing that cancer will come again, it just tells me I have to delve deep into myself and ask myself, what is the selfish motto for which, Monica, you are living now? Because if you are living for the mother, what is the reason for worry? Mother will take care of all the servants, all the children. Fear comes only into the picture, anxiety comes only into the picture about future worries and the past and losing loved ones. Anxiety comes into picture when my selfish agendas are working in operation. When the ego says, yes, I am the center of existence and the universe must please me at all times. A servant of the divine does not say this. A servant of the divine says, okay, Now divine is showing me this. I can go through this. There must be some reason. Okay, now the divine has presented me with this condition that I have lost all the money and I have this disease in the body. Okay, let's see what happens. Now there is no selfish motive of your living. So where is the fear now? So fear and surrender, they are very, very closely linked. More the fear in life, more the need of surrender, more a need of complete consecration to the divine. अपने लिए जब तक हम जीते रहेंगे, fear, you can be sure that it will stay with you. अपने लिए हम जब तक जीते रहेंगे, you can be sure that anxiety, panic, worries, depression is here to stay. It is not going to leave. तो जितना ज्यादा एंजाइटी, पैनिक, वरीज है हमारी लाइफ में, और हमें झांकने का मौका मिलता है अपने अंदर कि अब कौन सा डायमेंशन है जहां मुझे सरेंडर करना है, अब कहां पे है जो मैंने अपने ऊपर फिर से चिपका लिया है. वेयर इज इट दैट नाउ, व्हाट इज इट दैट इज स्टिकिंग टू मी एंड माय ब्रेन एंड माइंड एंड सेल्स that now I have to offer to the divine, so that the fear also goes away and my life becomes a consecration. Life becomes an offering. So then mother says further, yoga and fear do not go together. See, what is yoga? Yoga is that this feeling of separation, the strong feeling of separation that I have in each and every act of my life, in my beliefs that I am something separate from the divine essence. That is un-yoga, like you are separated. Yoga is the union of my own with my own supreme essence. So how can fear and yoga go together? Because if I am fearing, I will not be able to progress. Without progressing deeply in my life, I cannot unite myself with the divine essence. And what is progression? Progression is shedding off the wheels in my mind, in my feelings, shedding off the wheels of the ego. More and more becoming like from a wall of blocks, ईंट की बनी वॉल से हमको एक कर्टन बन जाना है, एक वेरी वेरी फाइन डेलिकेट कर्टन थ्रू विच द डिवाइन एसेंस कैन पोर थ्रू, not blocking it. This is progression. This is called progression. So actually, what is progression is regression of the ego. Dissolution of the ego is progression in yoga. This is how one can take it. It's just one way of explaining it. So mother is saying further, there is no fear in the higher nature. Again, take it vice versa. If I am fearing, I am operating from a lower place of consciousness. And all the levels of consciousness are within you. They are not anywhere in existence. You don't have to go to a temple to find that higher nature within yourself. The higher nature is accessible the moment I am ready to drop the wheel of the ego. That is how I access it. At the moment I am ready to accept that, okay, this is the happening at the moment. How can I go through this happening in faith? That is the higher nature. Okay. Let's see if this Tanmay. Okay, Tanmay is asking a bit theoretical question. Tanmay, I would not be able to take this question at the moment, because at the moment I am talking really of practical implications of Sri Aurobindo's and Mother's words. So maybe next time we can have this discussion on conventional Karam, rebirth theory. So I am not going to talk. This is not the vision for the session today. So I'll be taking this question maybe later. We can connect later for this question. Further, mother says, fear is always a feeling to be rejected, because what you fear is just the thing that is likely to come to you. Fear attracts the object of the fear. Now, I think I'm sure we all know about it. We attract what we fear. And for example, if we have seen, even in relationships, it continues like that. If we have a bad relationship and we are fearing to getting hurt again and again, so what we do is we repeat that kind of a relationship in many, many forms. So we get a boss who is like that, we get a sibling who is like that, and somehow that experience repeats itself. So how to offer it then? The best way that mother has offered us, very shortcut kind of a golden key, is to remember mother in the heart all the time as much as possible, and imagine that you are offering all your burdens to the mother. And there is a very beautiful story about mother, when mother used to go and check, like a surprise visit to sadhak's rooms. There, she would just, साधक ने अपना अच्छे से clean करके रखा है, neat and tidy करके रखा हुआ है room, and she would go directly to that cupboard deep hid inside, which is full of rubbish. And she would say that, you first need to order it and rearrange it. I cannot go by the outer beauty. So mother has said that all the burdens, all the confusions that you are feeling within yourself, which you are hiding away so far from the divine, offer it to the divine, burn it in the eternal fire of the divine. Don't hold anything that burdens you. Burden is not your true nature. Your true nature is ease, lightness, and joy. And that is why we suffer if we have burden in life. Burden of past relationships, burden of your own mistakes. And with mistakes, mother says that, correct the mistakes, do not repeat it, and go on, offer them to me. But we human beings are really kind of, we are tough creatures. We say, no, I want to carry it. It's my burden. It's my share. Now, my is the work of ego. ईगोलेसनेस की तरफ जैसे ही बढ़ते जाएंगे तो माई नहीं रहता, फिर वो कहते हैं कि भैया परमात्मा का है, तुम ही संभालो. बट देन एट द सेम टाइम पैराडॉक्सिकली that person will be becoming more responsible for his actions, for his words, because now the life that he is living is a life of a child of the divine, a servant of the divine. He has to be more responsible, he has to be more cautious in the actions. He is not allowed to go back to the lower consciousness again and again. He is now to transform the lower nature in the light of the higher nature. So paradoxically, our task is even more increased when you become a servant of the divine. So Saurav has something to say. Saurav says the role of fear in illness. There are so many different types of illnesses, sometimes injury, sometimes at organ levels, sometimes at psychological levels, and some are genetic. How do we determine the source of such illnesses, and if fear really have to and any role to play in triggering such illness? So what I believe Saurav is asking is that there are so many maladies, right? Some are emotional, some are psychological, some are directly, physically oriented. How do I know which one is originating from fear? How much role does fear have in triggering an illness? So this I would get only to know after I have removed fear from my life. Before that, I cannot know. For example, if I'm going through cancer, and more I become observant in my movements, I see that, I'm still afraid of this. Oh, I'm still afraid of the future. Oh, I'm still afraid of this. So all of this I keep on offering to the mother. Mother, you look after this. I just want to be in your presence. This is how I talk to the mother, right? And more I see that something called fear or a burden begins to dissolve or disappear. I will see this for myself. You will feel it, right? Now you will see for yourself whether the symptoms of the illness are coming back or the symptoms are dissolving in the background. It is for us to experiment. I have done experiment for myself. I am doing it at the moment as well. And I would invite you to do this experiment. The more fear you see in your movements, offer it to the mother. Make mother your friend. Invoke her presence whenever you notice anything in you. Mother, I don't want to carry this burden, mother. I want to be in your presence, mother. And see how it dissolves. So only by dissolution of fear would I get to know whether my illness had some connect with the fear or whether it was purely biological, which is rarely the case. Is it okay, Saurabh? Have I answered you? Or is there something else you want to add on? Okay, Saurabh, thank you. So mother is saying that fear is always a feeling to be rejected. Now, according to mother and Sri Aurobindo, thoughts and feelings are traveling in the space. Can you imagine? For example, if I light up an agarbatti incense stick, the smoke will be traveling into this in the space, and then through my nostrils, the smoke will come into my nose, and then I can inhale it inside. This is how it happens. So thoughts and feelings are not our own. That is the biggest burden that we carry, that yes, this belongs to me, this feeling belongs to me. Mother and Sri Aurobindo have said that thoughts and feelings are coming from outside, and if you really want to make your life worthy, clean, you have to develop slowly a will, a power which says no, I want my inner peace much better than believing in this thought and picking up this thought from outside. Right? So imagine that I am the honeycomb, full of honey, sticky, sticky honey, and thought is a bee or a cheetah, for example. It comes and it sticks to the honey. So the more sticky my consciousness is, what I do is, more sticky my consciousness is, more possibility of flies coming from all over and sticking to me. This will what will happen. Rupalji, you can put off your video. So now it's not the problem of the bees, it's problem of my own stickiness. Consciousness is sticky in nature. Now what we have to do, our only task if we really want to walk on this path, is to turn this stickiness to the mother, turn the stickiness to the divine. चिपकना ही है अगर, तो किसको चिपकेंगे? मदर को चिपकेंगे. अगर चिपकना ही है मुझे, तो किसको चिपकेंगे? I'll stick to the divine presence within rather than in sticking to all the thoughts and feelings that leave me, confused after a while. So this is my sankalp. This is the will that I am preparing, or kind of gymming. This is the will that is being prepared in my life. Why is it that I am kind of doing this action? Because I want to do it. This want needs to be there. This yearning needs to be there. It's okay, Rupalji. This yearning needs to be there. That yes, I have lived a life enough of wallowing in dirt and dust of unworthiness and a belief that I am alone, all alone in this universe. Now I want to experiment. So this want, this willingness, this yearning to have a beautiful life, a magical life, has to be there, my friends. Without the willingness, you cannot rescue anyone. If you are drowning in a daldal and you don't give up your hand to the divine, can the divine save you? No, not at all. The hand has to be outstretched. I seek help. Hey, come out and shine out from the window. So that yearning has to be there. And in that yearning, you're already making a premise. What is the premise? Premise is that I know you exist. I know you are there. So a faith in love, a faith in light, a faith in the divine presence. Just like for now, I have faith in my own unworthiness. I have faith in that life is bad. I have faith that if I'll be sick, I will really be very, very, life will really suck me hard. These are all faiths. Now the faith has to be turned completely to the divine. तो हम किसको चिपकेंगे? हम सिर्फ मदर को चिपकेंगे, हम सिर्फ डिवाइन को चिपकेंगे. And only then, sticking to the divine, you will see that you will stop attracting all kinds of thoughts and feelings which are unnecessary for your progress, which make you burdensome, which make you full of heaviness. And more you see this, more and more each moment becomes alive, which were absent earlier in life. Each moment becomes full and rid of fear. Now you're enjoying the juice of the rasa of the divine presence within, because you are invoking the mother. Without invocation, mother doesn't appear. Right? So if you are invoking fear, what will come? Fear. If I am invoking anxiety, if I am invoking unworthiness, what will appear? Unworthiness, anxiety, panic. Now I will invoke mother, because I know mother can make this life divine. So invocation is very, very important. I think that must be a very, very important reason why in Indian communities, we have this tradition of invoking the divine, whether it's present in the stone idols or in murtis and everywhere, you invoke the divine presence. Because unless I have a belief that yes, the divine presence is there, I cannot fathom it. I cannot be with it. Yeah. So let's go further. How to invoke? Yes, Nehal is asking how to invoke the divine presence. So, would anybody like to answer this, or shall I move? Because I would like, if some of you are practicing this in your own life and if something has worked, it would be really beautiful if you type a few lines and we see how can it work. How to invoke divine presence. There are several ways, so all of us can share, whoever is ready to share how to invoke divine presence, how you have been doing it. So that is more important. I need more practical implications rather than just going on to the theory of words. So I see few of us are typing. Let's wait for a few moments. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah. So Sneha says that in her life she practices asking the higher presence or the divine presence and then journaling for answers, as if you kind of, you take out your hand, you ask for help, and the help comes in some form or the other, and then you receive the answers in some days or some hours. You journal them in your journal. Yeah. Yeah. Saurav is saying letting go is one. Saurav, I'm not very sure how to invoke when you say you're letting go. Just explain it a little. Yeah. So Rupal is saying meditation on the heart level and top of the head helps in invoking. I have divine with me all the time. So this faith, to live with this faith, just like we live with the faith that the world is a bad place. So you begin to live in this faith. If I'm not wrong, I'm just reading it out. You begin to live in this faith that yes, divine is present and it is guiding me. The divine presence is guiding me all the time. So with faith, you invoke the divine presence. Yes. Mohit says when divine mind is very quiet, when breath is quiet, then another quality of being comes. Yeah. And in that quietness, you become aware of some presence and fear seem to dissolve. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Tanmay is saying that he had very terrible accidents in life and fear of death being most powerful of all fears. Feeling of contentment. Very nice. So cultivating this feeling of contentment. See, we are all, going through all the feelings throughout the day. So Tanmay is saying focusing on the feeling of contentment and thanking the divine for each breath is one way to invoke the divine. Yeah. Preeti says that I reinforce this belief by seeing how in the past I have come out of situations so gracefully and there was some divine hand. Yes, beautiful. So we look at our progression as a human being and we see that yes, I have become more of a sensitive person than I was in the past. And whatever events have happened for good, no matter how ugly they have seemed in the past. Yes, this feel cultivating this feeling of injecting force, injecting faith into the cells, just like we are injecting fear at the moment into the cells by looking at all the news and believing in the news. You begin to believe in divine presence and you invoke that in each cell. Yeah, and do the japa. For everyone it's different. Yeah. Saurav says letting go of all the emotion, negative emotions. Yes, thoughts, restlessness, impatience. Yeah. And Reggie is saying, get in touch with that voice within, which is omnipresent, which is forever present, and which is very feeble voice. It's not very assertive voice. And whenever I doubt I'm lost, I go back into myself and listen to the guidance of that voice within, which is very, very feeble. and I center myself in the truth of that voice. Yeah. And then he says we have to seek with utmost faith that yes, there is a voice present in me and it is going to guide me if I am ready to listen to its voice. Yeah. So Rupal is suggesting if those of us who are interested, you can read about cellular transformation. I think, yeah, for us, those of us who are really wanting to go deep within the theory aspect, which will help in the practical as well, they can read. Mother has done a lot of work on cellular transformation, and we can go through that. Yeah. Thank you, Rupal. So let's move ahead further. Now, friends, there is one reason why I don't, go into philosophy that much. And pardon me for that. We all have read so much. We all really have many, many degrees. But we see that it's not the degrees that help us. It's the hard experiences of life, going through them, having the slaps on our face and learning through them, progressing through them uh, that is how we get in touch with the love present in each one of us. And that is the very, very strong reason I don't go much into the details of philosophies, rather than even take one word and stay with it forever for your whole life. And that one word is the mother. We don't need much, actually. Mother will do the yoga for us. Mother will do the cellular even transformation for us. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you. We cannot do the yoga. We cannot do integral yoga for ourselves. Mother does it for us. Yes, when we have strong aspirations, the way keeps becoming clear, Preeti says. So aspire for mother's presence to be there, or if not mother, I don't know how many of you are connected to the divine in form of mother, or any divine presence that you invoke in your life. Make it solid in your life, and as if only that is what that matters. And it gives you so much of strength that no matter what experience you have to go through, maybe a tsunami like experience, if the only purpose of your life is to solidify divine's presence within, I think you will be doing a much, much, much big favor to this whole world and to mother's service as a form of mother's service, rather than doing 10 degrees and philosophizing about concepts, right? And when we read Savitri, I think many scholars have said that biggest impediment between us and understanding Savitri is our knowledge. We think that we have so much of knowledge. We don't need knowledge. We need love for the mother for this integral yoga. Mother does the yoga for us. You hand over the baton to mother. The problem with us is we take the baton again from the mother. This is the problem. Then fear comes, anxiety comes, panic comes. We are thrown back again in the confusion. And when we are in such a state, you can tell yourself, I have taken the baton from the mother. Right? I hope I am making myself clear. It's not our task. It's not our task to do integral yoga. Mother does yoga for us. What is your task then? You may ask, some of you may ask, what is my task if this is not my task? Your task is, whenever you go away from the mother's presence, pull yourself back, call yourself back, like a puppy goes here and there, and then you bring the puppy back and hold it tightly with you, cuddling it. Bring yourself back to the mother. Bring yourself back to the mother. Throughout the day, what do you have to do? As you engage in outward actions, what do you do? Bring yourself back to the mother. Bring yourself back to the mother. Mother will show you the way how to do integral yoga. All these books, even Sri Aurobindo himself said, if you want to understand me, you cannot directly approach me. Offer yourself to the mother. Only through the mother you will be able to read my words and get them alive into your life. So friends, we have the golden key with us, golden key. And it's such a small key, it's such a maheen, it's a very delicate key. Be very, very careful, because very little delicate things in life we are very easily losing. If I have a very minute feeble stuff with me, I lose it very quickly. If something is like a stone, it lies there in my home, it doesn't go away. Mother is the key, which is such a delicate key because it's not visible in physical presence at the moment. So what we do is, in our ignorance, we feel, oh, I must be running about this job, because if I don't get this job, this, that, oh, this has happened, it must be surely bad, and the divine definitely is against me. So here I have gone back away from the mother. Oh, I have gotten this disease. Oh, it must be surely bad, and I don't know what bad karmas I have done in my past lives. Again, I have gotten back from the mother, away from the mother. The mind cannot fathom that the key to liberation is so simple. It's beyond mind's limits. One questions, what is the need of my PhDs? What is the need of my scholarly writings and thesis if it was just the mother that I need to japo, So you feel that all your effort has been wasted. It has not been wasted. It has brought you to the mother. Isn't that a big thing to be grateful about? All the past experiences until now have brought us to the divine presence within. Good that we failed, good that tragic situations happened, because if they did not happen, I would have still wallowed in the dirt and dust of mechanicalities of the life. But I know that some of us cannot say that it's good. And I know that why cannot you say, and it's good that you are not agreeing with it. Because unless you taste the nectar of the divine presence through your own divine presence within, you must not settle. You must keep on aspiring, yearning, and rejecting all the theories. No, Monica, I don't believe you because I have not tasted that rasa in life. But at the same time, you say it does not mean that I am saying that that rasa does not exist, the rasa of divine presence. This is the dissolution of the ego. So you are open. You are saying, I know, I think there is something I'm missing, and there must be some higher juice, because if there was no some higher juice, I would have been contented in my present life, but I am not contented. It is an indication that something higher is waiting for me, but I don't know at the moment how to reach it. So Monica, I do not reject you completely, but I do not accept you completely as well. And I would say yes, thank you for doing that, because it's through our own experiments that we should see for ourselves whether this divinity, something called divinity, something called true love, fountain of love within, fountain of peace and calm within, whether it is theory or whether it is something which is practically kicking and alive. Because at the moment, I don't see it. It's not my reality. So friends, it's good to be skeptic. It's good to question. And it's good to be honest that I don't feel it at the moment. But at the same time, it's also good to be open to do experiments in life. And the experiment is just like earlier, I have been sticking to my unworthiness. Now I want to stick to what I hear as the mother or the divine essence. Kabir says, पोथी पढ़ पर जग मुआ, पंडित भया न कोय, ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के, पढ़े सो पंडित होए. Kabir rejects all the scholars, all the PhDs. I am myself a PhD. I'm not talking about you. I am rejecting all the theories or all the philosophies that I may have read. Only thing that matters is where you are right now, where you are being pushed. As if I am pushing you, as if the universe is pushing you into your divine essence, and you are saying, no, 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 I am not ready for it yet. No, 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 don't do this terror to me. That is what is happening at the moment. I want to feel this fear in my body, each cell of my body, because I know this is real. And universe is pushing you into faith. Universe is telling you, see, things are bound to change. Things will go up and down. Just enjoy this juice that you have within. Universe is pushing you within. And I am saying, no, fear is so much alive for me. I want to live a life in fear. Right? So what is surrender? Surrender is letting yourself being pushed to the juice. Do not resist anymore. That is surrender. And again, surrender is not a one-time process. Surrender is an ever deepening process. It will go on for a lifetime and even beyond a lifetime. So no one can say my surrender is complete. Even if you read mother's prayers and meditations, beautiful accounts of her aspirations, of her own surrender, you see that she was surrendering, surrendering, surrendering. Even when she was a divine mother incarnate, even she had to surrender her parts, her movements of the being until the end of her life. So surrender is not a easy said thing that, okay, done, I am surrendered. Ego is dissolved. I am into bliss and love now, right? How is it important to know the mother in depth before advancing in surrender? Tanmay it is not important to know the mother. Mother is vast, just like Anant, supreme. We cannot know mother. We can have faith in the mother or the divine, right? Agye kaha gaya hai na, divine ko agye, that which is unknowable, because it has no limits. Mother is agye. I may know a certain aspects of the mother because I have read about it, or I have experienced it my own self in my own journeys. I have experienced a few aspects of the mother, just like aspect of power, aspect of love in my life. Yeah, so first comes faith. Just see, we all are valuing in faith, right? If we see present lives, we all are valuing in faith. How? I have faith in my unworthiness. I have faith that divine is bad or cruel. I have faith that and a life lived in illness is a bad life. So we have all kinds of faith. It's not that we are without any faith at the moment. But when we are talking of this experiment with the mother or the divine, what are we saying? Now I am ready to turn this faith around, and the faith that I had in fear, anxiety, panic, or a life full of ugly appearances, I am saying I am ready to experiment that I will have a faith in this thing called the divine. So you are turning the faith to the divine. Faith is inherently present, and it is faith that has got us all here, because faith gives us this seeking that something higher is possible. Faith gives us this seeking that I cannot be this limited person that I am. This is originating from faith only. So faith we all have, but we don't know. It is in oblivion. In our ignorance, a faith is present. Now you are turning that faith, you are becoming conscious of that faith, and you are saying, I want to experiment a life which is lived in faith of divine presence, which is lived in a faith that universe is for me, not against me. That the divine is helping hand in my progress. What is my progress? My progress is to unite with the divine. That is what is yoga, integral yoga. All the movements are united with the divine. Now look at your lives. Where is fear coming from? Fear is coming from one moment in my life where I was separated from the divine. There is where fear is coming from. I believed that I am separate from the divine and I can be hurt. This is where lies the origin of the fear. And friend, just like thoughts and feelings, fear is also collective fear. It's coming from a collective life of human evolution. It's not your own fear. It's not our own fear. Yes. So Preeti says that generally we know what to do. Like we have an idea, we have a theory in mind that yes, I must be having faith in the divine. But we slip. So Preeti says that the lack of will to have faith in the divine to do it. So what we have to do is we have to remind. And in, yes, thank you Preeti for sharing. This is what has been given a lot of importance. Sumiran. If you read Kabir's Dohas, he talks a lot about Sumiran. He says हमारा सुमिरन ऐसा पैरेलली चलना चाहिए, as if कि एक पैरेलली, जैसे वो जो होता है ना कि एक मटके वाली आ रही है पानी लेके बहुत दूर से, दो मटके वालियां आ रही हैं और उनके सर पे भरा हुआ मटका भी है, बट उसमें से पानी भी नहीं छलक रहा और वो बतिया भी रही हैं आपस में. So parallelly the awareness is on the matka, and parallelly the awareness is on the talks and their gait as they're walking. This is the parallel awareness that mother also tells us to develop. Parallelly I am remembering mother all the time, and parallelly I am outwardly offering all the actions to the divine, to mother. You know, this is how we become more and more intimate with our movements, become more microscopically observant to our movements, कि आज कौन कौन से movements थे जो मैं ऑफर नहीं कर पाया, कौन कौन से movements थे जो मेरे stick होके रह गए, और वो फिर क्या करते हैं, they burden us later. And again mother has given us again a path to follow, which is remember and offer. Mother says whenever you are burdened with fear, anxiety, past, future, things you are not able to resolve, remember me and offer everything to me. Offer your whole being to me. Offer your movements to me. This is what mother has said. Now it is up to me, it's up to my free will whether I want to really carry that bojha of burden like a potli on my back and strain my back, or give away the burden to the mother. Again it comes with the faith that yes, mother is there and she is guiding me, and if I offer, it goes to the mother and it doesn't remain with me. So Himanshi ji is saying, I know that there is divine presence and I have to have faith. So this is in theory I know, but I am in denial sometimes. What is that? Nothing, just like another movement. Himanshi ji, we are coming out of a very long history of unconsciousness. So it's okay if it's there. Why is that? Yeah, denial, just take denial as anxiety. Just like anxiety is there, denial is there, panic is there, right? See, we take the shortest path because we don't have much time. I cannot fish each of my past lives. I have 100 past lives. I cannot ask you, Himanshi ji, do the past life regression, because in your 100th life, maybe this denial is coming from that. We don't have that much of time, Himanshi ji. What will we do? Shortest way. Kunji. What is the kunji? If you are encountering denial in faith, offer it to the mother. Tell it to the mother. Mother, see, today I was very, very denying, I was denying your presence and I was not able to have complete faith on you. This is what was happening, mother. So I offered this denial to you. Offer all the darkness to the mother. Himanshi ji, be light. Only then we can receive light. So remember and offer. Remember and offer. This is one thing that mother has told us again and again. Yeah. And whenever we are doing outer tasks, even the outer tasks like cooking, talking to a friend, messaging, taking a walk, sleeping, each and every moment, going to the washroom, taking a shower, offer it to the mother. Mother, this shower I take for you. I am your child, mother, and I want to keep myself neat and clean. And that is why, mother, I offer it to you. So Tanmay is saying, isn't blind faith all the problem of the world, all religious fight? Yes, but Tanmay, I can say that I cannot see fear anywhere, but you are still believing in fear. So the faith in fear is also a blind faith, and I would prefer to have a faith in the divine presence within me, which sorts me and which keeps me peaceful. So that is how at the moment I would like to answer this. That faith is anyway there. I am having a faith in a bad and ugly world. I am having a faith in blind faith, right? So faith is anyway there. What I am going to do according to my personal will is, I don't want to suffer more anymore, and I want to find peace in myself. For that peace, even if I have to, you think that I am undergoing a blind faith. For you, it may be blind because you cannot see mother in me. I can see mother in me. I know that when I am silent, when I am trusting in the divine universe actions, that the universe is for me, then I know that I am at peace. So I give more priority to my peace rather than to please someone कि भैया मेरे को अपना पॉइंट प्रूव करना है, ब्लाइंड फेथ है कि ट्रू फेथ है. तुम्हें लग रहा होगा तुम जो अपनी लाइफ के साथ करना है कर सकते हो. For me, peace is more important, right? And if you are talking about religions which have separated the world, see what is happening there. They are not in peace. Do not think that a person in peace can do something separatist in the world. A person who is himself is full of joy and divine presence, he cannot separate, he unites. That is what Sri Aurobindo did. That is what mother has done. They have united. What a Auroville they have created. They only had this vision that faith unites, faith doesn't divide. So that is how I would like to answer your question at the moment. If it's a dividing faith, then it should be abandoned. Yeah. So let's go further and keep on typing whatever your comments and things in the moment. Also, I would like to remind you before all of us go. So I'll take 10 more minutes and then wind up the session. So we have a website on which you can, because few of you have been asking me who have been attending sessions with us earlier. So you have been asking me how can I contribute, because these sessions are completely free. So those of us who have been attending sessions and who have been getting benefited, now we have opened up this offering contribution section, which I'm going to share with you here in the chat window. You can look later, and those of us who want to contribute in any way, they can contribute here, right? So further, mother says, it is an inexpressible joy not to have a responsibility for yourself. Now, when I am a child of the divine, when I am a servant of the divine, what happens? All the burden is shed from my shoulders that, oh my God, I should be in charge of my life. Oh my God, I should be seeking this job. Oh my God, I should be taking care whether this person gets right or not. So all this responsibility is taken off your shoulders, because who are you? You are the servant. What is your job? Your job is to stay with the Lord, feet of the Lord. Who is taking care of the expenses? The Lord is taking care of the expenses. The Lord is making sure that whatever is necessary for your progress, for the progress of my divine child, for my servant, should appear, because the universe is his manifestation. That kind of a surety we need if we really want to get rid of the fear and anxiety from our life. Nothing less will do, my friends. Nothing less. Right? So if I become servant of the divine, the only thing I am concerned with is being a servant. Just that. Then I am not concerned what my reputation is. Then I am not concerned who is going to take care of my own health. Although I do all the possible things as an offering, so in that obviously right action is taken. So don't think I am becoming indifferent to life. Not at all. I am becoming even more minutely observant to my life's details, because it's the life of servant. That is the biggest promotion one can get in this life, being a servant. So just stay right there, grounded with the feet of the divine presence, that feeble divine guidance that guides you in the moments of your silence. And silent moments are very, very important. And it does not mean that one has to be meditative, like keep aside a time for meditation. Mother used to say that I and Sri Aurobindo don't even need silence for meditation. The silent within Sri Aurobindo was so strong that one day a storm was coming, and mother came inside Sri Aurobindo's room to see if the windows are closed and everything is in proper place. And she saw that Sri Aurobindo's calm, the silence from Sri Aurobindo was spilling in the whole room, as if nothing was happening. So the storm may be happening outside, but Sri Aurobindo's silence was filling the room up. So we don't have to be concerned that, we need really silent moments with ourselves. There must be a silence within. And that silence dawns upon us more and more we stay with the divine within, more and more we stay with the peace within, and give it the most priority rather than giving importance to fear, making it concrete in our life. So just like we are concretizing fear in our life, try to concretize mother's presence in your life. Forget everything else. Forget everything else. एक साधे सब सधे, सब साधे सब जाए, रहीमन मूल ही सींचिबो, फूले फले अघाए. एक को साध के रखना है. वो एक कौन है? मैं खुद. कैसे सधेगा? जब तक वो डिवाइन के साथ योगा में नहीं लगेगा, तब तक नहीं सधेगा. पकड़ के किसको रखना है? मदर को या डिवाइन को, जिस भी नाम से आप जानते हैं, उसको पकड़ के रखिए. बाकी सब लाइन पे लगेगा. एक साधे सब सधे. और अगर सबको कोशिश करेंगे ना ठीक करने की, कि ये रिलेशनशिप भी ठीक हो जाए, और ये जॉब भी ठिकाने लग जाए, और ये मेरा पैसे भी मिलने लग जाएं, मेरे सारे सारी चीजें ठीक हो जाएं, तो उसमें क्या होता है? वी ड्रेन ourselves. Yes, all the energy has to be put not in the draining, but or maybe in the draining if you want to, because it's free will. Nobody is forcing you. I'm not forcing you. It's a free session. So I'm not forcing you. Do it. I didn't force you to come to the session. I just shared the information. Hey, I'm sharing something. If you want to listen, come. So it's again on my free will whether I want to do the yoga with the divine, being the servant of the divine, or I want to do the yoga with the fear, with anxiety, with panic. Yoga you will be anyway doing. You are, अवधू युगन युगन हम योगी. बहुत लाइफ टाइम से हम योगा करते आ रहे हैं, तो हम योग तो करेंगे ही करेंगे. चाहे वो फियर के साथ करें, एंजाइटी के साथ करें, अपने थॉट्स और फीलिंग्स के साथ करें, उनको चिपका के रखें, या डिवाइन एसेंस के साथ करें. अब आप चूज कर लीजिए जो आपको ठीक बन पड़ता है, वो आप अपने लाइफ के साथ कीजिए. लाइफ इज योर ओन. It's nobody's else's life. It's our own life. So taking up the last paragraph, fear comes from insincerity. Now what is this insincerity? If you want a comfortable life, agreeable circumstances, etc., and you put conditions and restrictions on the divine's workings, then you fear. Now see what is happening. Now ऊपर से तो मैं क्या कह रही हूँ यार, मैं तो डिवाइन के साथ योगा कर रही हूँ, आई एम द सर्वेंट ऑफ द डिवाइन. और अंदर क्या चल रहा है? अंदर मेरे क्या चल रहा है? यार ये जॉब तो मिलनी चाहिए यार, अगर नहीं मिली तो कैसे चलेगा आगे के आने वाले टाइम में. नहीं, ये तो होना ही चाहिए, ये नहीं होगा तो कैसे चलेगा आगे आने वाले टाइम में. एंड आई एम गिविंग राइज टू एंजाइटी, फियर एंड पैनिक. नाउ दिस इज द इनसिंसियरिटी. व्हाट इज द इनसिंसियरिटी? The sincerity is not to want or demand anything, but to remain in the divine presence within and to trust it fully. This is the sincerity. To trust that it will guide me how to live a better life. To remember and offer all the workings to the divine. ठीक है? This is sincerity. Insincerity creeps up from time to time. From time to time it keeps on showing its face. So insincerity can come that अब मुझे डिवाइन तो चाहिए, चलो ठीक है पैरेलली, लेकिन ये भी चाहिए, प्लीज ये भी दिला दो, लाइक दैट. एंड व्हेन वो नहीं मिलता है तो हमें फियर होता है, एंजाइटी होती है, पैनिक होती है, स्ट्रगल्स आती हैं. सो मदर कह रही है, if you want a comfortable life or agreeable circumstances all the time, just like ego wants to be pleased all the time, it will not happen. The life is not to please your ego. Life is to make the soul progress, ultimately to unite with the divine essence and to make it kind of a surety that yes, I am divine. This is the yoga that is the human life is there for. Human life is not to please the egos. Ego had a purpose. When the purpose is served, the ego has to let go, the dissolution has to happen. And if you keep on becoming obstacle, if I keep on becoming an obstacle in this unification with the divine, No one loses. It's the divine's loss. We are divine's children. Who loses? So the urgency is the more easily we makes divine's flow into our life and not become an obstacle like a roda on the way. Much easier and in fact miraculous lives can become for us without any fear. Because now what is to fear when divine there only is? When it is the divine existence, when mother is all that is, and mother knows what best to do with the children, what is to fear? Nothing is to fear. If mother wants to take my life will be taken, because mother knows the best, the divine knows the best, right? And if mother wants me to live this life and serve people, humanity, mothers, it's your wish, it's your command. So at the moment, then what happens? You see that selfish agendas disappear. You see that along with the fear, along with selfish agendas, anxiety, panic also disappears. Because now there is a life which is lived for the divine, in the divine, with the divine. Now, I don't call this blind faith. I call it a conscious life. I call it a life lived with my highest potential. Blind life is what I have been living until now, because I have been just going by the senses, what my eyes see, what my skin touches, what my tongue tastes, what my ears hear, and what my words say come out from my mouth. That is what I have been listening to all my life. But now I am becoming aware of something beyond the senses. Again, it is a choice, friends. It is free will. All of us can opt for it, or some of us can say, I am not yet ready. And we have time, we have eternity with us. So there is no hurry in that sense that, we have to do it really fast. But then paradoxically, we are in a hurry too. So you choose. Here is the document on fear, which I am sharing with you. Yeah. Uh, and in this, I have also shared our previous sessions, which have been held, and the recordings are available on YouTube. If there are any questions, concerns, comments, I'll be happy to take it. If not, it's okay. We can conclude the session now in 5 minutes. So this is the document I've prepared from the readings of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I have also attached a talk, which I found was very relevant here, from Dr. Alok Pandey. And if some of us may kind of, want to read, go through, we can go through. So my blabbering is done for the moment. If you have anything, any questions, comments, you can type, or then we close the session.